You have to start the microphone for recording. All right, folks, we are starting now. We have already done the AM session for LNG, which you have missed, my friend, but no worries, you can catch it up. I know that you know a lot about LNG, so I'm happy you can manage it, but if you don't get anything, ask me. Yes. We are in the process of, sorting out some technical glitches in the simulator, which is going to happen because this is a new simulator being installed here, and this is the first time it is being used. So what we are talking about is the ballast water management system. And in the ballast water management system, can you tell me what you know about ballast? What do you think? What is ballast for? They are for the stability of the vessels, and we need to put the weight on it. So we take the ballast from one point, we load it, we go to the sea in order to stabilize it, we sink it. But when we load it, we take a lot of stuff from the sea, microorganism or the native species. And when we go and discharge it on the other side, we give these native species to the other people. Stuart McDowell was not able to see it. Can you see his online? Yeah, okay. So we have in the vessels, we have different constructions where we can take the ballast. Yes, on an LNG vessels or even a bunker vessel, we do need ballast. But the good thing about the bunker vessel is that they are more or less in the environment. But sometimes they are loading in the river, discharging it outside, or loading it outside in the open ocean and discharging it inside. So they had to go through certain systems for ballast water management. So this is one of the fully pressurized vessels. We have got the ballast at the bottom and we have got the ballast at the top. And many of the new construction of the bunker barges are constructed with two pressurized vessels. Some of the old version, like the one which Aga bunker barge is only one tank in the middle, but now the wider bunker barges are going to have two tanks in it. So what we are doing, source port, we are using the word cargo, but that is bunker in this case. Cargo is unloaded and ship takes in ballast water. Okay? So they take the ballast water, they load the ballast water in it to compensate for whatever they have discharged. During the voyage, the cargo hold is emptied and ballast tanks are now filled with the water. But those are filled up with the native species or microorganisms. And then on a destination port, a new cargo is picked up by the ship ballast water and the ballast is expelled out. But when we are expelling this, these species, what we have loaded from the previous port, we are giving them to a new country or a new ecosystem. And in that new ecosystem, they might not be native species. So they either get killed themselves or they damage or mutate the local environment over there. This is what we are going to do some practice on the vessel, how to do the ballasting and deballasting on the liquid simulator. And of course, when the cargo hold are full, we deballast everything, but it does not mean that we have deballasted everything and we do not have anything in our tank. There will still be a lot of microorganisms or other species still sitting in the tank because the tanks are never dried and we have no means of removing them. So it is nearly empty, but there is some water. There will be some species clinging to the walls of the ballast tank or sitting in the mud and sand within the ballast tank. So how invasive species are introduced into the Great Lakes? This is one of the examples where the source of it is IMO. And the IMO has explained this thing that you are taking in ballast, you are filling in a lot of native species. When you are emptying it, you are so what we are doing it nowadays, we have a big oceans. So we load these poor native species and excuse me, and we do a ballast exchange. In the middle of the ocean, we do some ballast exchange. On this simulator, you will also learn about how to manage your stability. Excuse me, during the ballast exchange process. I will take you through how to manage these ballast exchanges at sea and still keep your vessel fully loaded. You are naval architects, so it will be not a big deal for you. Pardon me. So once you have emptied the ballast tank, they will be gone away from you. So for that, we are loading the ballast water at the source port. Once we load the ballast water, what we are doing at the, unfortunately at the moment the simulator is not operation, so otherwise I'll have the plan to go there and tell you how it is working. So which I will do later. So what we will do is that we will load the ballast and we load all these native species in our ballast tank. We have no choice. There are systems coming in which we are going to show you in a short video where during loading we eliminate those native species. And then during the voyage, of course, these native species multiply. So what we will normally do, we go out, discharge it, but in the open ocean we do some ballasting. And then, of course, we will load it again here. And when we come back here in this during the voyage, we do the ballast exchange. Okay, so this is species migration by ballast water. There are 3,000 to 4,000 species carried out per day in the world. This is, of course, an estimation. It is not precise. If the world is doing more business, then it is doing more of this migration, and if it is less, 1.2 billion tours of ballast waterways in the world. So this is a very interesting thing. So means 1.2 billion times roughly billion tons, ballast is carried and then discharged. Ballast is loaded at one port and discharged on the next. So it means that we are doing the migration by the ballast, migration of local species. So every time we are coming to a loading port, we are discharging some of these ballast microorganisms or species, and while we are discharging it, of course, they are damaging the local ecosystem of that country. So this is introduction of a new foreign marine species. So new here in the world every 9 weeks, 50 new here in the world every 9 weeks. So what do you think we should do about it? What is your idea? How we can avoid that thing?
We have to storing spaces.
Yes. We have no choice other than to kill them, those poor fishes who are coming with our ballast in our tank. So we are not carrying them, we are not multiplying them in our tanks, and we are not destroying the local ecosystem. So far, we don't have any other means to do it. The technology is improving, so maybe we'll be able to at one day filter out. There are scientists and organizations or companies working on it where they are able to filter out these species from the system. And those filters are different kind of filters, but it is like, we are using a water purification filter in our house. So we are killing the germs before we drink that water. So in order to protect the local species where we are discharging this ballast water, and in order to save the ecosystem down there, we have no option other than to kill this thing. So this is the invasive species migration, origins and pathways. So you can see there are certain which are originated here. They are going here, they're from Asia, coming to North Atlantic, and from there it is also going the other way around from Europe to other parts of the world. And you excuse me for a minute. Thank you. How did you manage to make it? I did that. And changing another. Exactly. So, what are they? Did you ask him about
I don't know. She referred that when we started, but I don't know if they will try to. If there is, I think that they will try to fix it, but I don't know. They are in trouble.
And then, of course, I'm going to talk on that. These are some commercial videos, of course, which are made by certain organizations.
In February 2004, the International Maritime Organization, or IMO, which is part of the United Nations, adopted the International Convention for the Control and Management of Ships' Ballast Water and Sediments, which prohibits the transfer of marine organisms in ballast water. Ballast water is seawater which is uptaken by ships and weighed in place of cargo. When a ship has unloaded its cargo, such as raw materials, and leaves port in an empty condition, it fills its ballast tanks with ballast water. Then, when the ship takes on cargo at a port in another country, it discharges the ballast water. The problem is that marine organisms in the ballast water are discharged into different waters as alien species. This can cause destruction of the local ecosystem. For this reason, the IMO established the strict D2 standard for ballast water treatment. Under the D2 standard, ships must purify their ballast water to a level that would allow ocean bathing before it can be discharged into the sea. The start of regulation is currently awaiting ratification by the IMO. However, the standard will be applied to new ships with a ballast water capacity of less than 5,000 cubic meters constructed after 2010. The standard will also be applied to large-scale ships with ballast water capacities of 5,000 cubic meters or more beginning in 2012. Worldwide, approximately 65,000 ocean-going ships will be subject to this regulation. JFE Ballast ACE is sure, ensuring completely sure treatment, simple, being a simple compact system, and safe for both the ship's crews and the world's oceans. These are the three basic concepts of JFE Ballast ACE. Now, let's see how the system achieves each of these aims. First, sure treatment. The system can be broadly divided into the filter, injector, and venturi components. Treatment of ballast water taken on by the ship begins with the filter system. The ballast water enters the filters from the bottom, and plankton with sizes of 50 microns and larger are removed by the filter elements. Filter elements are automatically backwashed in sequence. The removed plankton with sizes of 50 microns and larger are returned to the sea together with the ballast water. During backwashing, the other filters continue treatment. Next, the injector injects a disinfectant at a number of points. The venturi system consists of a large number of conical venturi tubes arranged in parallel. The venturi system ensures uniform instantaneous mixing of the disinfectant. In addition, bacteria adhering to sand are separated, heightening the disinfection effect. Simple. A simple system with a compact design. The JFE Ballast ACE system is extremely compact. The unit can easily be installed in the limited space of a machine room. Because the equipment requires only about 3 kilowatts of power, it is not necessary to increase the ship's generator capacity. Because the chemical injection rate is controlled automatically by the residual chlorine meter, operation is simple and does not place an extra burden on the crew. Safe. A safe system using common chemicals. Safety is not a problem with JFE Ballast ACE. The disinfectant sodium hypochlorite is a widely used general-purpose chemical with proven safety. The residual chlorine is completely decomposed by a reducing agent and has no effect on the natural environment. Supply of the sodium hypochlorite disinfectant and sodium sulfite reducing agent to ships is possible worldwide. A wide range of JFE Ballast ACE systems is available for ships of every type and ballast water capacity. This system is suitable for both existing and new ships, and for ships of every size. Introduction of ballast water treatment systems is an important issue for every ocean-going ship and cannot be avoided. The features of JFE Ballast 8 include sure treatment, easy installation and operation, and complete safety for the crew and the marine environment. And all these advantages can be realized at low cost. JFE is ready to support every business that is committed to protection of the global environment and a new era in maritime transportation with the world's most innovative technologies and service.
So, folks, there is one technology which you have witnessed in this short video. Do you have any questions?
So what's the type of ballast?
Can you speak loudly because yeah.
I missed out what is the exact technology of the
There are multiple technologies working in it. Sometimes we are using UV phase, sometimes we are using inert gas. The one which I'm showing you now will clear your mind, and then we'll talk on it.
I looked only three at the moment. Three different ships.
This video illustrates the function of the Venturi oxygen stripping, or VOS, ballast water treatment system. International regulations now require ships to disinfect ballast water to eliminate the inadvertent transfer of aquatic organisms between distant ports. The patented VOS system accomplishes this by deoxygenating the water as it's drawn into the vessel. Here's how it works. In natural water, aquatic organisms survive when a small amount of oxygen dissolves in the atmosphere. This dissolved oxygen is in equilibrium with the large amount of oxygen in the air. Venturi oxygen stripping mixes natural water as it's drawn into the ship as ballast with a low oxygen gas. This low oxygen gas strips the dissolved oxygen out of the water. By the time that mixture gets to the ballast tanks, a new low oxygen equilibrium is established between the low oxygen gas and the water. Here's how that happens. The source of this oxygen stripping gas is an efficient high-temperature burner called a stripping gas generator. The VOS process starts with this component. After the stripping gas generator is turned off, when the gas oxygen level is low enough, the gas is directed to the Venturi injectors. A signal relay then turns on the ballast pumps. As ballast water passes through the Venturi injectors, the gas is mixed into the water. Cavitation mixing shears the gas into a microfine bubble emulsion within the water. Seconds ago, this water was exposed to air. Now, inside the ballast piping downstream of the Venturi injectors, the water is exposed to a gas with 95% lower oxygen than air. Now, as low oxygen gas bubbles pass through the water piping, dissolved oxygen in the water diffuses from the water phase into the gas phase as a new equilibrium is established with 95% lower dissolved oxygen in the water. The gas strips oxygen out of the water. At the same time, a small amount of carbon dioxide and nitrogen gas pass from the gas phase into the liquid phase. Organisms cannot survive the ballast water conditions created by the Venturi oxygen or ballast water treatment system meets the standard all regulate organisms. In the ballast tanks, gas bubbles rise to the surface. Gas is vented above the deck. As ballast water is discharged, it's passed back through the Venturi injectors again to re-aerate prior to release back into the environment. Simultaneously, as ballast tanks are emptied, the low oxygen gas is introduced to permanently maintain the low oxygen condition in the ballast tanks. There is another important benefit to this element of the MoS treatment. Permanently inerting ballast tanks has been shown to virtually eliminate corrosion. A humid, aerated ballast tank is one of the most corrosive environments on Earth. Damage to ballast tank coatings and steel can cost millions of dollars to repair. And in the end, the life of a ship is often determined by the life of the ballast tanks. But by maintaining a low oxygen environment in ballast tanks, the MoS system can significantly extend coating life and reduce corrosion by up to 85%. This corrosion protective feature of the MoS system can significantly reduce ballast tank maintenance costs and reduce the life cycle cost of the ship. Also, when installed aboard double-hull oil tankers, the system provides an explosion safety. When the ship arrives back in port to unload its cargo, the cycle repeats. This two-stage treatment system provides a unique dual benefit of ballast water treatment to protect the environment and ballast tank protection to reduce life cycle costs. The MoS system is based on a characteristic of water physics known as Henry's law. It is a physical process and is unaffected by water chemistry, particulate matter, temperature, or salinity. This means it works predictably and reliably. Clean water and dirty water, fresh water and seawater, hot water and cold, any time of day, any season, anywhere in the world.
All right. All right. Now you have got an idea? What we are trying to do is to reduce the oxygen level. So if there is less oxygen level in the water, there is many life cannot sustain without oxygen. And we introduce we remove the oxygen and we make it like an inerted environment. And we use that ballast. So at least whatever the microorganisms are there, they will not multiply. Even the ones which are survived. There are another treatment system. There are good 13 or 14 different systems which are working. And of course, some of the commercial information we have got, some don't have. But some of the technologies the manufacturers are keeping in their hand. They are not talking about it. But anyway, so that was something which we are doing. And the whole objective is to stop the migration of species from port A to port B. And in which, and you might have noticed, and when we are discharging it, we are using, again, we are aerating the water on a very low level to let it go and work at sea. So, IMO has already published the Ballast Water Convention and of course guidelines for the control of management ship ballast water to minimize the transfer of harmful aquatic organization and pathogens. So these are two things which we are managing at the moment. So what we need as per the Ballast Water Treaty, we need three things, mainly three things. a ballast water management plan, which all vessels or all bunkering barges need to have. The bunkering barges ballast management plan will be a very limited one because they are not going in international water, but in future there may be bunker barges who are loading the cargo somewhere in Holland and coming to do a bunker in Ireland on a ship, and they are doing and bunkering on multiple points, and once they have bunkered the vessel, simultaneously they will be loading different ballast water from this one, and then they are going to home port in say Holland or Rotterdam or Germany or wherever. So there is still the ballast management plan workable for. The other thing which we require as per the treaty is ballast water management or ballast water record book, where we are keeping the records of all these things to see. And of course, at the end, we also need a ballast water management certificate and surveys to verify. So this is how we are doing it. So the global partnership at the moment, it is of course the 2004 work, International Convention on Management of Ship Ballast Water and Sediments, 2000 work, and of course convention guidelines, then Integrated Technical Cooperation Committee, which is ITC, is working. So the key contributor to them are International Ocean Institute, the Global Invasive Species Program, GISP, who are contributing the Global Ballast Partnership worldwide, GEF, and UNDP, United Nations. And the whole objective of this to reduce these four. And of course, there are so many species in the water that so far the marine biologists they are not able to identify every single of them. In fact, every time they go, they find something. All of these pictures which you see here, this is one of these species which are found in ballast water. This is also ballast water species found in the on the steel of the ballast tanks. These are some of the species which were multiplied during the ballast water operations, and now they are outside. And either they kill the local ecosystem, or they themselves kill the local ecosystem. It is like an antibiotic in our body. Leonidas, is it working? Is our virtual friends there? Is our virtual learners there? All right. Can you please send them an apology for this morning? No? But now everything is fixed. We can share this good news with them. Okay. So then we have got also this jellyfish. This is one of the biggest menace, and they grow or multiply in millions. So how the treaty implementation dates, although it was a 2004 work, 2009 ship constructed in 2009 with a ballast water capacity below 5,000 cubic must meet the D2 standard at its second annual survey, not later than 31st December 2011. So, if any bunker barge has a very low capacity, does not come into this thing, but normally the other vessels. 2010 and 11, ships constructed in 2010 or 11 with a ballast water capacity of below 5,000 cubic meters must meet the D2 standard, which built. We are going to talk about these standards. And 2012 ship constructed in or after 2012 must meet the D2 standard. So, you can see here now that there is a phase implementation kind of thing which you are witnessing. 2014 constructed before 2009 will, with a ballast water capacity between 15,000 cubic and 5,000 cubic, must meet the D2 standard. This is what already been done from 1st January, and now finally 2016, which is next year, constructed in or after 2009 with a ballast water capacity of 5,000 cubic meter or above must meet D2 standard when built. Ship constructed before 2009 with a ballast capacity of below 1,500 cubic meter or above 5,000 must meet D2 standard at the first dry docking after 1st January 2016. So means the existing ships or even the old ships, they are going to dry dock after 2016. They are going to do some kind of major refit. That is why at the moment ballast water management is a big issue. Is a big debate or big agenda on everyone's mind. So what are these D2 standards? This is the same thing which is construction. D1 ballast water exchange standard. D2 is the ballast water performance standard, which practically requires installation of treatment plant. So in the D1 system, we are going to do the ballast water exchange. And under the D2 system, you have witnessed a couple of systems which, are killing this microorganism or getting rid of them or filtering it out or reducing the effect of these microorganism or bacteria or, invasive species. So according to IMO resolution 1005, vessel constructed in 2009 will not require to comply with D2 regulation until the second survey, but not later than 31st 11, which is this area. So technically you can see in 2016, nearly all kind of vessels are going to comply with the ballast water management system. That is why the project also see it as an important part in operational practices, because in Module 3 we are going to talk about the operational practices. So and you are going to do this ballast water operation here on this in this simulator, and of course you will do the D1 stage and we'll talk about the D2 stage. Are we happy so far? Any questions? No questions. Okay. So management of invasive species in marine and coastal environment, Article 8 of a convention requires, I quote, as far as possible and as appropriate to prevent introduction of a control or eradicate those alien species which threaten ecosystem habits of a. So technically it is, we are protecting the local environment, the local species where we are discharging these. So whichever port we are discharging, we should not destroy the local system because of the ballast water. So during this convention, parties address the problem posed by invasive species and ecosystem, and in a decisive and holistic manner undertake risk assessment of alien species which may pose a threat of ecological character of wetlands. This is one more thing which I want to tell you, that so far, I mean, a lot of marine biologists are working on it. And they are not able to single out which are the species which are friendly species or which are compatible species, or so at the moment we are kind of sweeping it out. Mm. Sweeping it out means we are not discriminating them. If we are filtering everything. If we are killing through oxygen or inerts, reducing the reducing the oxygen in the tank, we are doing it that way, or inerting in the tank in the other way, we are just killing every species. But because the amount of water, there in every port there is trillions of tons of water. So if we are taking 5 tons of or 5,000 tons of ballast from one port, technically we are not destroying the ecosystem over there, because we have just like, it is like a pinch of salt in the whole big bread loaf. So that is, and of course, the local environment is, these marine species are regenerative and they multiply. So technically, when we load and kill them, we are not doing a massive. But of course, this thing is going on. The ballast water management does not stop here at this stage. The microbiologists, the scientists are further working on it. They are finding the best way of doing the ballast management. D1 standards, where we were just exchanging the ballast in the middle of ocean, but now with the D2 system, we are managing it more better way, that we are not even migrating it to the middle. So the real ballast management system could be lot of different things. This is source of this, as I acknowledge the source, green for C is the one which has published this thing. If you can go through the cycle here and try to make this sense, and then I will also talk to you on that.
Folks have seen that in a certain
So now, what do you understand from this? It's a complex maze, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, the whole reason for showing this thing is to let you know that there is not one system which could be the answer to the ballast water management. It could be different combination. This is one of the combination that they will do with the law, and the local authorities are the ones who are looking at the compliance of these things. So you remember what is our number third thing, that we need to maintain a ballast water management system certification, and we need to report. So that is the reporting system. It is also taking you for the detention of the ship, probability any further discharge. So, for example, a bunker barge was left the one country and going to another country to fuel the ship, might be detained because of not properly maintaining the ballast water system. And of course, the indicative analysis and etc. will be there. And of course, there will be a designated officer for all these activities. So, are you happy in this one? So let's move. This is the BWRA ballast water reporting form where you do the reporting. This is a kind of software where you put in your information of your vessel and all that, your IMO number. That is your basically the nameplate of your vessel. So if you're a bunker barge, you're going to from which country you are arriving from, what is your last arriving to, what is your what port have you left, what is your next port, etc., etc. And this is what. So this software is normally installed on board the ship, and you do the thing, and the database goes to the concerned authorities. You can see them on the bottom. There are loads of different options. The companies can get the information directly from the vessel, and they manage this thing, or they give the software on board the ship, and through the internet connection they can do this thing. This is one of the integration of your EGDIS or electronic chart data information system with the ballast water management. For the ballast water management, so if you are starting your ballast water management at point A and you are taking it to point B or C, whatever, it is keeping a track of where you are taking ballast, where you are discharging ballast, and what is the quality of ballast. So like an oil record book, very similar to that, we have a ballast management record book, and we are maintaining those things. Folks, it is getting 3 o'clock. I know this is afternoon session and it is quite tiring. I will continue from here after the coffee break. So can I see you after half an hour, 3:30? Would it be all right for you? So can we take an excuse, and we'll inform them that we'll start at 3:30. Let's start at